Hey, it's Jamie, back with some more BB-8 updates. Actually, not really. Uh, Today we're going to be talking about Iron Man, going back to my roots again. So it's been a while since I've gotten my 3D printer. It's almost been about a year. I decided to print my BB-8 out using the 3D printer, and now I've decided to go back to Iron Man and try to go at doing an all 3D printed Iron Man. So as you can see up on the shelf up there, I've got my old Iron Man. That's a combination of EVA foam and fiberglass. It's alright, but I knew that I could do better, and this is the better part of it. So I can tell you right now, this chest piece is only about 2.5 pounds, which is awesome. So the back part of it's going to be probably 2.5 pounds as well. So we're talking about, what, 5 pounds for a chest piece. For the whole chest armor and back part, so which is awesome. So far, I've got printed out a shoulder bell, a glove, back part for the glove, one of the bicep and the gauntlet, the shoes, and then the helmet. So this has all been 3D printed, as you can see. Now, one of the things I kind of wanted to go over today, more specifically, is how to finish your 3D prints. Now, I've done a few different types of plastics before. You have your PLA, you have ABS, you've got PETG, you got some other stuff out there. ABS is what I'm using. Now, it's kind of tricky to work with because you have to keep the temperature, you have to keep the printer in an enclosure. Or else you start getting weird oddities like this, where it'll separate, or like this. So, which are easily fixable. It does throw the print off a little bit, but with some of the slight adjustments, you can kind of make up for that, which is fine. Now, when you're finishing it, in order to print this chest piece, for example, I had to split up into a few different parts. So you can see there's a line here, and then it goes across this way. So that's one part, and then I think the other part's here. And then this bottom part, I had to split up into 4 pieces, so it would fit in my print bed. So you can see that there's a line there, and then one that goes along the inside there. So, all told, this is, let's see here, 1, 2, 3 parts in the front. 1, 2, 4. So you kind of get the point of how much it takes to print, and you have to join them together. So initially what I do is I use crazy glue to initially bond the parts, and I prefer, let me grab my glue bottle here. So I prefer, there's 2 different types of glue that I have. One is Gorilla Glue, and that works well, but what seems to really work well is Loctite. And it seems to dry a little bit faster. But so essentially, like if you have a part like this, what you're looking to do is glue the 2 halves together, just bond them together. And then afterwards, what you can do is you can use some acetone on top of the print. So if you look at the back part of this here, I've done an ABS slurry on the back of this, just to join the parts together. And what an ABS slurry is, you take the acetone, and I usually use the support material that I get when I print these parts out, and then throw it into a glass jar, and then add acetone. And what that does is it gives you a slurry or a paste. And what you can do then is you can brush it on certain areas where you want to kind of re-strengthen the areas. And it's just regular plastic, which is kind of awesome. So it gives you kind of a shiny sheen to it, which is alright. But it holds it together quite well. So I've done that with this part here. I had to print this out in 2 parts. Let's see, there's the seam line there. And really the trick to finishing 3D printed parts is just to kind of get it smoothed out so you can't see where those seam lines are. Just like on this one here, there's this was 2 parts. You can see the seam line, I think, right on the inside there, right where that line is. So the trick is really just hiding the 3D printing crimes and making sure that you can't see them from the outside. So same thing with this. I had to print it 2 parts. There's the parting line right there. So now as far as when you get it glued together, you're going to have to use something to kind of cover those spots. Now, not all 3D printers are exact. You may get elephant foot, or you may get some sort of weird oddities in the print, and they may not fit properly all the time. 3D printers are not the magic go-to all sort of thing that everybody thinks it is. It's not like you print the thing out and magically it all fits and works well. Tolerances are off sometimes. You got to adjust and sand and do some other things. So what I use to kind of hide those oddities, especially in this case here, I've really come to like the plastic metal by Bondo. And what it is, it's actually a paste like the glazing and spotting putty, but it's got aluminum in it, so it gives a little bit more strength to the putty. Now, you can use spotting and glazing putty, which is good. It's got acetone in it. See if I can find where that's at. Right there. Woo. Acetone. It's not focusing at all. Let's try this. Acetone. Right there. So, acetone, just like that there, will bite into the plastic. It'll bond with it. So, and it'll even bond with the paint because the paint's got acetone in it as well. So, bear in mind that when you're doing something like that, to try and keep the plastic bare, or at least sand it down before you start doing your glazing and spot putty. So, that'll be about it for today, guys. I gotta clean up the shop and do some other things, but just kind of want to give you a rundown on what I've got so far as Iron Man parts. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but it is quite a bit. So if you guys have any questions about 3D printing or any of my the way I do things, leave in the comment section down below. So this will be the return of me going back to Iron Man again. So while BB-8's fun and all, this is kind of where my heart's at. Actually, it's right there, I think. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, do your thing. Thanks for watching.